boys that I've birthed into this earth, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for them. And so when I see and I hear about injustice, they know at home, coming from their door when they walk out of it, that they have to say something. In August, so let's talk about a little bit of history just this school year. In August, no, let's go back even before that. 2 years ago at Consumnes Oaks High School, there was a student by the name of Nari. Nari was an honor student. He was not just an honor student, he was like the supreme of the supreme, had received all of these scholarships and award for his academic prowess. This young African-American man was proud of his history and his heritage. He probably had a mama and a daddy at home like my husband and I, who taught him to be proud of being black. And so he showed up at his high school graduation with a kente stole around his neck. A kente stole. He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything inappropriate. He wore a kente stole. He was ushered out of his graduation for a violation of dress code. Black Lives Matter Sacramento met with the Elk Grove Unified School District Board, and that policy changed for the following school year. So now kids of all races and creeds, religions, cultural backgrounds can show up to their graduations and wear something that represents who they are as an individual. So that was 2 years ago. So let's flip ahead to August of 2017. My son is a student at Franklin High School, and he said, "Mom, I got something to show you." And I said, "What is it?" I'm not savvy on Snapchat, because what I do know is that the videos disappear, and I'm just, I want if it's a video of me, let it last, right? Young kids don't get that. They will one day. So he showed me a video of a student at Elk Grove High School as she was walking home from school, and there was a young man in front of her who had a Confederate flag pin on his backpack. My son knows, being the mother that I am, that I make a big to-do about things that are important, that I think are important. So I made that video go viral. I wanted to bring attention to the fact that not just hate speech, but hate symbols cannot be tolerated in our schools, because that's what their policy says. But if that's their policy, they have to stick to making sure that kids are accountable for their behaviors. And so that was August of 2017. Then we flip ahead to, was it September, Sharie? September-ish? Sharie and her staff comes to work, and there's a hate-filled note on her door. And in the past, it wasn't the first experience. So in the past, there were other incidences that were just not ignored, but were also reported to the police. But in that note, verbiage like "coon," "nigga, go home," "you don't belong here," was in that note. And I'm sorry, I can't look my 6 boys in the face and ask them to accept that kind of behavior. I have to ask them to put, if it were a girl, I put my big girl panties on, but I have to ask them to stand in courage and say that this is not okay. When they hear it on their playgrounds, when they hear it in the classroom, when they hear it in the hallway, they have to say something. So we have to charge the Elk Grove Unified School District, we have to charge the city of Elk Grove with responsibility in being complicit, because silence is violence. I have to say that again. Silence is violence. If you are silent when you see these things go down, you are just as guilty. And so then we flip ahead, and we're all enjoying, I hope you were, your holiday, to be bombarded with a video, another Snapchat video, of a young girl at Pleasant Grove High School. And I feel sorry for her, because she's a baby, and she learned it from somewhere. So my heart goes out to her, because it's not her fault. Somebody taught her that. Somebody taught her that it's okay to use the N-word. Somebody taught her that it's okay to hate a certain group of people. Somebody taught her that it's funny when black people die. Somebody taught her that. And so those are the people that we need to have conversations with. Those are the people that we go to work with every day, that we go to the gym with every day, that we go to and do business with every day, that we read in the newspaper every day, because sometimes I have to just say it and be bold in what I say. There's a lot of anti-blackness in Elk Grove, in Sacramento, in California, in this country. Colin Kaepernick has been taking a knee. He's been taking a knee for racial injustice, for the abuse of power when it comes to law enforcement. He's been taking a knee to shed a light on the fact that there's excessive force and murder, and cops they get away with it. And we have to hold these people accountable. These, not just people individually, entities that employ them. So the departments that they work for, the DAs that are elected officials. Young people, pay attention, because this is a history lesson. Certain people in our government, in our society, they are elected officials. They work for you. And when you get 18, register to vote, because you can vote into office anyone you want, and you can vote out of office anyone who doesn't work for you. Fannie Lou Hamer said that the American flag, over its conception, has been drenched with the blood of black people. We have to end that today. I'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to stand for a national anthem that represents me, but I can't as long as there's a contradiction. And so I understand Kaepernick. I understand the other players that stand with him. And I understand the courageous young ladies like Rachel and her classmates who are making a fuss about something that's important. I'm not going to stop going to city council meetings and school board meetings and meeting with superintendents, because it's about making a fuss about something that's important. And if one of us does it, it catches fire, and more of us will do it, more of us will speak up. And particularly, as I stated down the street, we need our white allies to stand in the gap.
My question is, as African American people, how do we raise up our own generation to not be a part of some of the issues that we see? Because that's one of the combative questions we get back when we're responding, saying our lives matter. How do we start raising up our own generation to do such things?
I can only answer that from a perspective, because I am a part of the Black Lives Matter movement here in our local area. The reality is, if black lives don't matter, none of your lives matter. Right. If black people can't win, nobody is winning. Nobody. It's a corruption. There is an injustice that comes along with the fact that if a certain population of our community is not winning, not succeeding, not able to get the fruits of their labor, have that piece of the American pie, that means nobody's winning. Donald Trump, I hate to say his name, but he's making sure that people who are paid like him are protected. Right. So that means that people who make under $200,000, you're not protected. And that don't matter what race you are, what religion you are, what company you work for. Recently in the media, when I was at the other march, part of my speech said something like, Dove cannot make my skin whiter. And therefore, you have to cater to me the way that I am. H&M had an ugly, irresponsible ad last week. I don't want to be considered the coolest monkey in the jungle, especially when all throughout the Obama administration, the reference was, look at those monkeys in the White House. We can't live in the vein of hypocrisy. So, excellent question. I just counter people when they say, what about all lives? All lives do matter, but they can't.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking, how in our own community can we combat some of the negative stereotypes and things like that? For instance, how can we raise up families that are strong enough to stand in the society that we see, such as today? But building, because I see a systematic legacy of just tearing down our own communities. How can we, as a black community, raise up ourselves?
Absolutely. It's building. It's the little things that take place, like parents in the community taking that kid who might not have a mother and father, inviting them over for dinner into a family that does have a mother and father present. It's about taking kids and making sure that they have a wide variety of experiences, cultural experiences, so that they can learn and appreciate from each other. We have to do that internally and externally. We have to show up. We have to be a voice for our kids, and it starts at home. And so that starts with telling them that they're beautiful. There was never a day that I woke up in the morning and didn't think that I was beautiful because my mother told me so. I don't care what the world told me. My mother told me so. So we have to start at home, reaching to those kids from the moment that they can speak, and instilling in them confidence, love for self, but at the same time, respect for others. Because difference is important. I love the nuances and differences that I see on all of the faces that are out here today. I'm going to pass the bullhorn to Pastor Les.
And let's thank them for just leaning in this moment and putting us together, just in a few days. And then, as well as yourselves for coming out here, making a stand. I feel like I'm a fourth generation pastor. I have pictures of my granddad actually marching with Dr. King. I feel like we are making good on that dream, not just because we're standing together, but because we're standing up for a real issue. We're standing up for a cause. And that is not often nice. It's not often pretty. It don't sound good. It's very uncomfortable at times. Especially for us, if my skin is what folks fear, then I can't take my skin off.
Right.
If what my young folks are wearing is what challenges people, maybe we're not seeing people for who they are. Today, I'm really encouraged because we're all here. If you look around, there's multiple cultures, there's multiple races. We're seeing each other for who we are. We're having what I call a sawubona moment. It's a saying that says, I see you. And the person that they say sawubona to says sikona, which means, because you see me, I am here. I think we're looking around, we're seeing each other's moment. And because we see that, we're saying, I am here. I'm here today because of the courage of some kids that have stood up for some time now in Elk Grove, raising the issue of racial justice and equality. I'm also here to say that because they've raised the issue, I think we find ourselves in a moment in time that we can make some progress. This morning I spent the morning walking with Superintendent Hoffman, who I grew up with at Valley High School, who decided to come out and take a walk, decided to come out and stand with the people. And during this time, I think we've made even progress to really seeing each other and hearing each other, and he's here today as well. I just want to, again, thank everybody for coming out. Thank you for your courage. Let's pick up the calls, not just on this one day, but tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, next week. I know we got multiple issues, but we can tackle one at a time. We can tackle one at a time, and it starts with standing with each other. And so I'm so happy we're here right in front of the salon. I'm so happy Rachel is here and standing up and speaking her truth as well as you're here. Thank you so much for your time.
I think you touched on it. I was going to say that earlier this morning I was at the MLK March in Sacramento, and I walked the majority of the time with Mr. Hoffman, our superintendent of Elk Grove Unified School District. And you guys, one of the things he said to me is, change is about to happen in Elk Grove Unified School District. And he's here today to stand with us, to let us know that we're not going to tolerate that mess no more. So I just want to tell our superintendent, thank you for walking with us. Thank you for showing up. Many people was invited. Our city councilman was invited. Our vice mayor was invited. But he came.
That's it.
So we just want to say thank you. And I want to thank you for stepping up, Black Lives Matter, and Adri, everyone, Summer, everyone, for coming and supporting this cause. It's about love, everyone. That's at the end of the day. And, you know, we have everybody on the sideline that's watching from a distance. For some reason, they don't want to step foot over here. But that's okay. We're going to show them that we're civilized and we're godly people and we have love in our heart and we can't hurt you. We can't hurt you. So you're going to want to join us one day. Join us. Don't stand on the sideline. Join us. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Hey guys, well, this is Superintendent Hoffman. We want to just thank him for coming out, but we also want to give him some moments to really share truth as well.